What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here for another video review. This time it's Asmus Frodo, Sam and Frodo basically, and you can get this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. If you're gonna buy it, please click the link in the description. Let's start off with a box. This is the Frodo. So it comes in 2-pack. You know, you get one brown shipper, but it's kind of like Merry and Pippin. So their boxes are really, it's narrow, so you can almost fit them in a regular box, kind of like a Hot Toys box, maybe a little bit thicker, but I certainly do appreciate the smaller size of the box. So you know, if you get into that section where you have like 20 or 30 figures, and you still want to keep the box, obviously, because you never know when you're gonna sell this figure. So you know, that really helps as far as space is concerned. And they're pretty similar as far as Sam and Frodo. Obviously different pictures, but it goes through you know, the same pattern, so to speak, with Merry and Pippin. So it's just like there's the ring, you know, and then their actual picture. The lettering is a bit embossed, so when you touch it, it's out there. And also on the back, it's pretty simple, you know, like green for Sam, red for Frodo. There on the side, 1/6 collectible action figure, Samwise Gamgee and Frodo Baggins. So it's blue, I mean red and green is what separates them. And on the sides, you can see there it's really skinny. So when you put them right there, side by side, you know, you can kind of, you know, see them right next to each other. And then the Asmus Collectibles logo on the side. Every one of their figures are limited, so I got a good number here, 13 of 1,000. So I'm surprised they only made 1,000 of these. And just to let you know, I actually paid for this figure. You know, normally Asmus sends me figures to review, but they ran out. They actually sold out of these figures. I was supposed to get one to review, but since they ran out, I really like the line, so I went out and bought it, you know, out of my own pocket. So this is not a sponsored review whatsoever. So you know, just to let you know. And even if they are, when they send me figures, I always try to tell the truth anyway. Maybe I'm a little biased because I do love Lord of the Rings, you know. So let's open it up right here. So that's Frodo with all the hands. So I noticed that on the Hobbits, they have almost the same hands. You know, Sam only comes with, you know, a fewer hands than Frodo and what I've seen, but you can interchange them. I guess the skin tone is almost the same. So, because I normally when I get figures, I take out all the accessories, especially the hands, put the box in my garage, and you know, put them in some small containers. And this is gonna be a 2-part now as far as accessories. This is the part where I normally combine them both, but you know, technically it's 2 figures. So as you can see here, pointy hands with a ring and some open palm with a ring right there. And it also says on the instruction that the ring is removable, so you can actually take off the ring and move it to a different finger if you wish to do so. However, I don't see myself doing that, but it's a nice option that you can take out the ring. You know, that's pretty cool. There's also a ring on his necklace, as you can see there, so that's also pretty awesome. And that's the pointy finger, you know, so you can have different poses. And if you want to take off the ring, I would suggest, yeah, I mean, you got to be careful because it's a little bit tight, especially in the fingers. Now, I didn't try it on this accessory right here, which is the necklace. I don't know, I just put it on his neck, and there's really no need for me to take out the ring, to be quite honest with you. And I'm kind of scared that you might lose it, but it's a nice quality, you know, it's pretty cool. It's nice that you can take it off, you have that option. You can also see his sword that glows when there's orcs around. A lot of people are gonna crucify me for not naming the sword, but I didn't do my research when I'm doing this video. I'm a big fan, but not that, you know, I'm not that in-depth as far as, you know, what it's called and whatnot. I love the movie, you know, I probably watched it a gazillion times, but maybe the most watched movie that I had, because every time that, you know, I don't know, that movie just hypes me up, you know, like when I watch it, kind of, especially when there's a battle scene and whatnot, it really pumps you up, want to hit the gym or something like that. Even the soundtrack is pretty cool. I love everything about Lord of the Rings, you know. If I wish they would continue the line and don't stop, because I know there's a bunch of fans out there, you know, which are happy to see these figures. And as you can see here, there's the details on the sword. It's not die cast, it's made out of plastic. which is okay, because sometimes diecast is a bit heavy, on the heavier side. Their last figure, well, I don't think it's the sword's fault. Thranduil, he doesn't have the right hands to grip the sword, so sometimes it slips. And I'm surprised that this comes with Frodo, because as you can see, this is Frodo's side of the accessories. This is what they use when they had the giant spider. Not sure what it's called, but it lights up and kind of drew him away. But Sam mostly used this one, but it doesn't matter because they're in the same package anyway. It's not like you can buy Frodo by himself. But just saying that I thought that should have been with Sam, but Sam already came up. He's coming up with a lot of accessories, so maybe that's why they put it on Frodo's box. And he comes also with a backpack, which is stuffed with a bunch of nothing. But it's pretty cool. It kind of reminds you of the Merry and Pippin backpack, although it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. And moving forward, they don't come with a stand, just to let you know. Normally Lord of the Rings has this kind of it's equivalent to Hot Toys oval stand. They have this standard stand which is says Lord of the Rings, but at the same time it didn't came with Merry and Pippin as well, maybe because they're too small. I don't know, maybe that's one of the reasons. And you get this as an exclusive if you pre-order the figure, which I did at Big Bad Toy Store. So a pretty nice pre-order bonus. It's kind of shiny even in hand, it's really nicely done. Not sure if I'm ever gonna use this. I'm pretty sure it would fit. It's small. It looks like true to size, but it requires me taking out all of Frodo's clothing, which is something I'm not willing to do at this point. Maybe down the line. And as you can see, we're now going through the Sam category. This pants are awesome. He got some pots and pans. If you remember when they were, like going through the jungle with Aragorn or Strider. They were cooking, and I believe this is part of that scene. It's pretty cool because it looks like it's burnt, used, and whatnot. A really nice feature. As you can see here, all of them. He got some wooden spoon, some pots in here. They're not die cast. They're made out of plastic, so they're pretty light. But yeah, the effect, the paint application is pretty awesome. It really looks like it's burnt. It looks like metal, but it's not. It's a pain in the ass though to put in his backpack. I will show you later on how it looks like after everything's put together. But the hole is too small on this pots and pans, so that's why I had a hard time. Not that hard, but it's annoying. Not really sure what this is. It looks like a salami or something. I don't know, a piece of meat or whatever it is. This one is a bigger hole, so it's not that bad to put in his backpack. And he also comes with a sword or dagger. And I would call this a sword. It's pretty long, but yeah, it's nice. Once again, it looks like a worn out effect. It's not die cast, but it looks pretty legit. I like it. It looks metallic. It looks like kind of rusty. So I like that. I like that look right there. So the only thing I don't like about is it's that like fake leather thingy that you wrap around his waist. I feel like it's gonna break, but who knows. I know in some countries it peels because it's leather. This is, I believe, his canteen, kind of like that's where he puts his water. So there's a lot of accessories with these two figures right here. So as far as that, you really get your money's worth. And this backpack is awesome. I didn't even try to attempt to remove that mat on his back. I'm pretty sure it's a a legit one right there, but I'm just scared I can't put it back together. And he also comes with cloak. So as you know, if anyone who's familiar with Asmus collectibles, as far as Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, Saruman, they nail it out of the park. Thranduil, not so much, but it's still pretty decent. But with this, guys, you're gonna get your money's worth. Even with Merry and Pippin, they didn't quite get the head sculpt all that much, and it didn't change here. But as far as the body, it looks like you see the hair on his feet. This is we're talking about Frodo right here. That's a lot of hair, by the way. It's disgusting, but I love it. But as far as him comparing it to Merry and Pippin, it looks like for both of them, him and Sam, it looks like their feet is hairier than ever. It's because I compared it. I got both the previous Hobbits, and it doesn't look as intense. the hair on their feet. Frodo comes with 2 cloaks, this one and the other green cloak, the moss green cloak. That's mostly what the other hobbits has, also what Sam has. This one is a nice material. Overall, I'm telling you, can't complain about what Asmus did on these figures. You've seen if you're watching this video, then that means at some point you Googled it, you saw the images, the head turned you off. I'm pretty sure. And, I can't blame you, but at the same time, you're getting some quality outfit and costume here. The hood is actually accessible right here. You can actually, the material is really nice. It drapes nicely. You don't need to have this custom. In other 1/6 company, you have to replace the cape and all that stuff. And here, as far as the outfit, the material, the way it looks, it's pretty legit. It's awesome. Can't complain about that. The fit of the clothes are awesome. They're nice. It looks like high quality material that they use. The stitching is great. The head sculpt is a bit, there's room for improvement, let's put it this way. I see that dirty feet right there. You see some mud right there on the ankles and also at the bottom. And this is now Sam, who also has some nasty feet. There's no ankle pivot, as you can tell, but they're pretty stable. So they have a flat feet, so you don't really need to put them in a stand or something like that. He has a lot of layers of clothing as well. You can see his jacket, and then he has a vest inside, and then another shirt. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. You can see that stitching right there. There's an inside lining. Beautiful how this is what separates, I guess, 1/6, especially if you buy them from Asmus. If Asmus created this 1/6, you're gonna get top-notch clothing. It's beautiful clothing. Head sculpt on this, I was saying earlier on the Gandalf, they nailed it. I think I really think they nailed Gandalf. Saruman is also, they nailed it. I would say that as well. Thranduil, it's right there. I actually think the final product is better than the prototype because they kind of missed it on the nose perhaps, but it's still out there. Can't complain for the price that they're asking for these figures. And for Sam and Frodo, I would put them a little in a higher category as far as Merry and Pippin. Because Merry and Pippin is also kind of questionable when it comes to head sculpt. But their tailoring is also nice. But the head sculpt is, there's really room for improvement. This is Sam. Now, my lighting is not helping these guys out because the brighter the light, you can clearly see the flaws on the figure. The eyes it's nice. It's blue, but I think it's too blue. I can't really point my finger into it. It's Sam. If it does it look like the actor? Perhaps it's out there. I guess the sculpt is good, but maybe the paint application, maybe the hair. Can't really point my finger into it. Even though it's even with Frodo. Now is it horrible? No, it's not. I don't think it's a horrible head sculpt. Now I would complain if this is priced $220 for each figure, but they're not. So I am at peace with the price and the quality that I'm getting. Everything's nice. The head sculpt, like I said, it might be a 6 or a 7, perhaps. Some people might disagree, but that's how I look at it. Is there any other options right now? There's none. So I am really happy. They sold out of this figure, so there's a demand for it. Now, regardless if it's if you go to their website, they're completely sold out. But in Big Bad Toy Store, it looks like they have stock again. The last time I checked. Now, it might not be the best head sculpt out there, but it resembles Sam for me. It's good enough for me. I mean, it depends on you. Like I said, I'm at peace with the price. When I bought 3-0 Rick Grimes, I know what I'm getting. I know it doesn't look like him, but does it look like Rick Grimes to me? Yes. I sold it. Why? I'm not that big of a... I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, but not enough, to overcome that. Now, as far as Lord of the Rings, I'd buy anything that's Lord of the Rings, especially 1/6. That's my main collection. as long as it kind of looks like the figure, like I said, this is kind of like 120 each for each figure. So technically, it's cheaper than Rick Grimes. They're also smaller. They're not full size, but they came with a lot more accessories too. So that kind of balances it out. Now, as far as, let's say, Hot Toys made this figure, maybe it has a better head sculpt, perhaps. Maybe the clothing is not going to be that great. But put it this way, they're asking 180 for Yoda. No, it's not 180. It's 200 for Yoda, and it's around 220 or 230 for Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon. He's a rodent. So this is, obviously a harder sculpt because it's human figure. You can see there with the proper lighting. If I'm taking a picture of this where I can kind of manipulate the pictures, I can make some improvements. I'm sure I can make him look like Sam a bit more. But this is live, a picture or a moving picture. It's a video, so you can't really mask any imperfections. And there's quite a few, But if you're into toy photography, this is your best option right here. It's not like you have any options, because other than this, Sideshow did made Frodo and Sam. This is Frodo, by the way, if you can't tell. But that's your only option. If you're gonna wait for some other company to make, a line of Lord of the Rings, then you might be waiting for a while, because, they've been out for a while, and that's why I applaud Asmus Collectibles, because they're taking the chance on a franchise, which I'm sure there is a lot of fans like myself, but they might have forgotten it already. They might have moved on, but I do appreciate the fact that they're catering to fans like myself. I'm sure there's other ones because it got sold out. Is it perfect? No. This, as you can see in this head sculpt, but when they're doing this on the prototype, because they're pretty active in the 1/6 community, the sculpt is good, before it got painted. So my guess it's the paint application that kind of needs a little bit of improvement. In this one, I think it's a bit too pale. I think the shape of the face is there. The eyes, like I said, it's too blue. Maybe it's a little bit subtle to make it more realistic. I guess the hair is a little too strong. Like, if they gotta mix a little bit more paint. But what do I know? I'm not an expert when it comes to this. It's just, by being around 1/6 figures all the time, so I kind of know which one looks a bit realistic and which one doesn't. The sculpting is, I think it's there. So how do I say this? The foundation is there. I just think it's on the paint application. There's also, as you can see from the face, there's texture on his face. That's pretty cool, because even on the movies, Frodo looks like, it's Elijah Wood looks like a teenage boy, so he has like a really smooth face, and I'm glad that they put some texture in it. But it's out there. I know it's Frodo. I'm a big fan. If I turn off the lights, because my light sometimes it's too strong, so it's not really helping the case on the figure. I turn off one light. I'm trying to give you different angles of the lights here. Like I said, it's out there. The sculpt is there. You just need to help it a little bit if you're taking pictures of it. Now it's a different story if you're displaying them on your cabinet, because obviously it is what it is. So if you're watching this on HD, this is what you're getting. And if you put them in the right pose, like this one, you can. There's a lot of options that you can do with them if you can live with a head sculpt. And I don't have any problems with it. With this being $240, this is the same price pretty much as Vision. You get two figures which are pretty iconic, more iconic than Vision, if you think about it, or any other and Hot Toys or Marvel characters out there. As you can see, this is a backpack. This is all geared up. It's loaded with pots and pans, and it's awesome, but it's a pain in the ass to put together. That little thing right there, I thought I'm gonna get a string, but no, it's a thick fabric that you gotta thread into those small tiny holes. It didn't take me hours, or I threaded them for less than 15 minutes, but boy, I gotta squeeze that fabric in, thread them inside, and I thought I was gonna break it, but I didn't. So once you put them on the backpack, it's not coming out, at least for me. I'm not gonna go through that again. And it's a shame, because pots and pans looks pretty awesome. So if I'm trying to make like a scene, maybe it'll still go out. You know, I intend to taking a lot of pictures with these two figures, especially once I get my my Aragorn. And this is the alternate look. You know, as you saw Frodo back there, this is that's straight out of the box. No backpacks, no accessories. You know, I just put the cloak in. You know, with him holding the sword and whatnot. This is kind of like what they're gonna be looking like when I put them on my shelf. The backpack really adds something to the figure. So, you know, Frodo's ring right there on his neck, pretty cool. There's a lot of, you know, from afar. Look at this from shot right here. It's pretty decent, you know. And like I said, there's a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. They're gonna say the head sculpt is terrible, and it's not perfect. You know, I get that. I am fully aware of that before I bought these figures, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. You can see from the back, you know, and he fell down, and there's the hazard of no stand and filming it with one hand. But also my table is not that, as you can see there's a, you know, I got a new review area here. As you can see the socket, which really annoys the heck out of me, but it is what it is. But yeah, you can see the backpack right here. Pretty nice how it's all geared up, so he's ready to go, ready for battle, for eating. As I was saying earlier, you know, in the world of 1/6, that's why, you know, guys like me are out there, because it's an expensive hobby. You know, it's $220. In this case, it's $240. You got to do your research before you buy something. There you go. That's the squad. That's the squad right there. I'm really happy I got all of them, and that's Gandalf on the back. So they're pretty good, in good scale, as you can see. You know, they're all the same height. Gandalf also, you know, being a full-sized grown man, you know, it's pretty cool. But as I was saying earlier, you got to make some, and you're the only one who can answer this. Don't listen to other people. You know, some people are gonna say, you know, you should only collect this. This doesn't make any sense. Well, I bought this figure knowing that it's gonna be hard for me to sell them again. You know, but I don't intend to selling this, guys. I intend to keeping them forever, as much as I could. It's hard because it's, you know, there's really no market for them anymore as far as second. Well, there is. If you go to eBay, there's always something. I'm looking for the Witch King, and I can't find one because they're really hard to come by. Merry and Pippin are already sold out everywhere, but there's always that one Lord of the Rings fan or a bunch that's looking for these figures. And when Asmus says that they're only gonna make 1,000, they really only make 1,000. So they're extremely limited. So if I were you, in Sideshow, they already got sold out right away. In Big Bad, they're still on, so pick yours up, because you can't pick them up on Asmus anymore. If you're having second thoughts, then, you know, perhaps this video can help you out. I'm not telling you to buy this figure or not buy this figure. It's your money. I'm happy with my purchase, knowing what I'm getting. You know, by now, if you're watching this, if you're interested, this is what you're getting. You know, you're getting a good quality figure. The head sculpt is less than perfect. You know, it's not the greatest. But does it represent Frodo and Sam completely? Yes. Now, had I paid $400 for this two, I would be upset, because, you know, if I'm shelving out $400, I want it to be perfect. But with the prices of 1/6 nowadays, I mean, don't get me wrong, $240 is still a lot of money, but not in the 1/6 community. You know, if you're forking money out for Hot Toys or Enterbay, $240 is a standard figure. You know, that's what a figure costs nowadays. Suicide Squad Joker is $245. And this is $240 for two of them. And you can make the argument that they are gonna be more iconic than the Jared Leto Joker. But, you know, that's not the point. Maybe some people like Joker more than Frodo and Sam, and that's fine. But all I'm trying to say is, if you are a Lord of the Rings fan and you're into 1/6 collectible, is this a must-have? I mean, they're pretty much the Lord of the Rings. Frodo is pretty much the main guy, you know, if you think about it. Does it make sense to buy a figure that's not less than perfect? You know, I've done that so many times before, not just in so many companies. But I think they represent the character pretty well. I'm happy with my purchase. I'm glad they're in my collection. And if you buy them, I'm sure you'll be happy too. And especially if you mix them up with your other Lord of the Rings from Asmus. They make terrific characters. You know, I bought Nazgul, and I'm about to unbox them next. But you know, as far as this, hopefully this helps you out. You know, hopefully it does. Don't listen to the, you know, other people's comments. You decide